Cool. Thank you all for joining. Last session of the day, hopefully for all of you guys. My name is Christopher. I work for Polygon Labs. I lead the application security team over there, and I'm going to give you a couple of pointers if you're building apps in this space on what you can do in order to make sure that you don't end up in this list. And just to be clear, I know the title says joining. It's not about if you're going to join. It's about when you're going to join and the way that you're going to join. And hopefully after the session, you're going to join over there at the bottom right and not over there on the top left, okay? Because it's just like Dapp, you're having a hack, a bug, a manipulation in your smart contracts, in your application, it's going to happen. So make sure you're prepared for it. Just very quick, I know you've seen this hundreds of times, especially in this event. There were a lot of use cases regarding this and showing it, but just a couple of examples. Running hack, very common one, hacked private keys. Yeah, that led to a huge exploit on a bridge. The Badger hack, this had nothing to do with smart contracts really. There was an injection in a JavaScript code that made people interact with a different smart contract. So actually the problem was on the front end, was on the app side. CoinCheck, in this case, bad OPSEC, bad just security practices in general and strategies. They connected a hot wallet directly to the internet. Like, come on, you're like, hack me, please. Next one, Nomad. This is a very good one, and that shows that it's very important to be methodic on when you do changes, not on your smart contracts, but on anything you do from a technology perspective. Now, in this case, there was a poorly managed change. They did an upgrade to a smart contract that introduced a bug, and basically the rest is history for them. 190 million, and I've not heard about them anymore. And the last over here, the cream.finance attack. This is very specific, obviously, to smart contracts. It was a flash loan attack, but it was an easy one. It was an easy to detect one. Like if you would have hired just a very simple auditor, potentially even one from Fiverr, he would have found and told you like, hey, this doesn't look great. So you can categorize a lot of these hacks, and almost every hack, every bug, and every issue in 3 categories. The problem resides with people, the problem resides with technology, or the problem resides with processes. I assume everybody recognizes 1 and 2, but number 3 is probably only for the old people over here like me. That is Home Alone's plan for when the intruders were trying to get into home. And it's really good because it explains security at its completeness, and the fact that it's defense in depth. You have to have multiple layers, and that's what the kid from Home Alone actually did. He implemented a lot of security measures in order to avoid, to fatigue, to slow down the hackers. In this case, we're not hackers, no, but basically to steal the house. So this is a slide. This is basically where I think, if you're interested, you can take a picture. This is a kind of a checklist. Most of this is all free tooling that you can implement. You do not have to be a security guy. You do not have to have a 10-person security team in order to do any of these things. You don't have to hire a very expensive tier 1 auditing company to at least have the basic security measures in your applications in general. So first of all, if you're a development team, if you're small, if you don't have a security team, just choose somebody smart, somebody that cares, somebody that, and just tell them, dude, you're gonna spend half a day or a day every week just thinking about how can we make our application more secure. Next, make sure that you're training to a certain degree your teams around phishing, passwords, usage of MFA. I know that you've been hammered with this, all day and all your lives, I hope. So, but still, very important, very easy to get. And last but not least, if you're a developer, if you work in DevOps or anything like that, understand the basics about security and how do you protect yourself. So OWASP Top 10, a really good one. Couple of free resources on the bottom, that you can get over there. This is mainly training stuff. Second over here, test and secure your stuff. Now, testing obviously can have a lot of different measures, a lot of different layers, but start by aiming for 100% test coverage. Now, test coverage is not perfect, but I saw so many different hacks, so many things that come through different bug bounty platforms that just very simple unit testing would have found it. So aim for 100% test coverage. I know it's kind of impossible, but aim for it. And don't assign just one person. Have multiple people trying to build those test cases, because it's all about imagination. Now, screensaver. Second, use security scanners. There are hundreds of security scanners, specifically for app layer, so for Web 2. For Web 3, there are not too many. A couple of them, SonarQube, Slither, obviously for Web 3. SonarQube is free. SonarQube is amazing for the app layer, and it's free. You can use their, obviously, hosted version, or you can host your own. It's really, really good security scanner. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. It's been a tough couple of days with DeFi Security Summit, so bear with me. GitHub obviously provides things like Dependabots. They also have their own CodeQL stuff. You can also use Sneak for free. So those are all free tools you should be using. Keys, I'm very tired of seeing .envs in GitHub repositories. And I'm very tired of seeing just keys in general in GitHub repositories. So I know it's convenient, it's easy, you didn't notice, you didn't have a git ignore or something like that, but please, please stop doing it. And the best way to prevent it is just implement GitHub security scanning, GitGuardian, or TruffleHog. They all have free versions. Very easy to detect the basic AWS key that is gonna wreck your whole infrastructure. Penetration testing and security audits. That's a tough topic. Obviously, it costs money, but it doesn't have to cost money. Like you can, if you don't have money, at least hire an auditor from Fiverr. It's better than nothing. Have other people look at your stuff. If you only have 100K, don't hire the top one trail of bits, 100K audit. Get 3 medium tier 2 audits. That will be much better than one big one, to be honest, in personal opinion. And that's on the other side, follow best practices and standards. For those that are new in the engineering world, those that are new on the crypto scene and all those type of things, all of this has already been created. There is no reason that you need to recreate incident response processes. There's no reason why you need to recreate CI/CDs, best practices. There's no reason why you need to recreate bug bounty and responsible exposure programs. It's exactly the same. It's just another language, another technology. But the processes, the standards, the best practices, they're all there. Ask ChatGPT, he knows it all. Really, just how do I do an incident response plan? ChatGPT. How do I manage change management? ChatGPT. It's good enough, it's really good. So, couple of recommendations over there. These are all clickable. You'll get linked to the slide afterwards. How to set branch protection rules in your GitHub. Oh yes, Cloudflare, please. Murit talked about it already a couple of hours ago. Stop using Namecheap. Sorry if there are any Namecheap fans over here. Stop using Namecheap, please. Use something better. Even GoDaddy is better than Namecheap. But if you're using Namecheap, at least make sure that you're protecting your domain, that nobody can change it. Cloudflare offers the same and offers a lot of great tools like DDoS protection, WAF, and many other things for free for your domain. So look into that. That's really it. A couple of extra info that I really liked from people that are actually here in this conference. Some guides to security from Emiliano Bossi. That's really, really good. It's all about personal security and also about just general application, OPSEC, and all those type of things. Web application security checklist if, for your front end, some OPSEC stuff. This Twitter thread about low budget audits is really good. It really explains very well, depending on your budget, how can you get a good value for your money in an audit. And yeah, other stuff, DeFi Hack Labs, if you want to retry some of the old hacks, and some auditor guides over there. So I made it with my boys, basically. So thank you very much. Hopefully you all enjoy the event. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
We have one question.
Thank you. Quick question on the last stage. Let's say you deployed a Dapp, and what we always found challenging is kind of the end-to-end test and or QA at the very end, seeing it all play together, even maybe testing with real funds on a layer 2. What's kind of the latest and greatest there? What would you recommend? how far should you go? Can you go with automation of maybe even deploying the Dapp, automatically testing with some?
Yeah, definitely. CI/CD is if you're good at it, if you're good at setting up test cases and then making sure that they run automatically every time you push code, every time some new commit comes into it, that's gonna solve a lot of the basic stuff. But it depends on how good your unit tests are. For smart contracts, what is really good is that you can directly in your CI/CD actually fork the network and test things like with thousands of Ethereum or thousands of USDC to make sure that your app is actually behaving how you expect, especially when you have an inflow of a lot of funds. So yeah, but it all depends on how good your test cases are.
You still do manual QA at the end?
Yeah. The teams do a lot of manual QA. To be honest, especially for smart contracts, I would say for normal AppSec Web 2 applications, you have a lot of tooling that already do all of that. But for smart contracts in general, there is very little. So there's a lot of manual work that needs to be done. And that's why it's important to have multiple eyes on it. And that's why I say, like, yeah, one big audit will be very good, but it would be better if you can have multiple, because then they can see all the different test cases. You will have different perspective, and the same from your team. Don't have one person build those test cases. Have many people at least brainstorm what those test cases should be.
Thank you.
No problem.
Questions?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.